Welcome back, you sweet little donut hole, to a new video and a new Sims 4 build series. Welcome to Faelenor, a storybook fairy tale. Shire meets Ghibli meets Hogwarts, Hogsmead meets Tokyo world.
Wow.
First and foremost, please meet Lankis Kurrid, owner, operator, and resident of the Wicker Goat Inn, and our very first resident of Faelenor. Now, I was heavily inspired by this concept art by Edward Behrens, and I'll leave a link to his portfolio in the description. I just love the look of the character. He's stern, but also he seems like approachable to me, kind of like a father figure in a way. Now, our Lankis lives alone and spends his time serving the locals at the tavern and being an absolute pillar of the community. I'd imagine that everyone trusts Lankis very much. He's very well respected and steadfast, but he does live alone. Perhaps he's seeking love. I am not sure. We may weave that into the save file in time, but right now he's very busy catering to the adventurers and the heroes who frequent his inn. Today's build is in the Cavalier Cove area of Brindleton Bay on the 40 by 40 lot. I actually tried to build this on a 30 by 20, but it was just way too tight for how expansive I ultimately wanted this build to be. The 40 by 40 gives us a lot more breathing room and space for a patio area and a bigger stable than when I originally tried to build this. And even then, on the 40 by 40, I probably could have gone larger with the grounds of this tavern slash inn. Now I have a huge list of ideas for builds, but in typical Sonia fashion, rather than easing into things, I've decided to commit myself to this massive undertaking by starting a new save file. But I've just never really been one to build ultra modern or really even contemporary. I like something with more character and history, especially the older I get. So I thought, how can I make The Sims fit my particular style and current aesthetic more so that I can play in a world that I enjoy looking at? So that's what I'm gonna do, and if you enjoy that vibe, you're in for a treat. So get comfy, grab a warm drink. We're obviously jumping into the build now. Now, regarding the plan for the save file, I don't think I necessarily will hold myself to building in one map at a time. We very well may bounce around as the mood strikes, but I decided to build this particular inn, tavern slash inn, in Brindleton Bay because it fits well with the story of how I came to know the Wicker Goat Inn. Now, I've just begun a D&D campaign with a group of Twitch friends, and our lovely DM, Paz, sets us on an adventure from this inn. So all credit goes to them for the inspiration for the build itself. I'm just attempting to visualize it here in The Sims. Please do check out Paz's content. I'll leave their info down below. But I also want to give credit to my absolute favorite Sims content creator of all time, Devin Bumpkin, who I've been watching for, gosh, probably 6 years at this point, maybe 7. He is just so creative and breathes life into every single build. It's so inspiring, and he quite frankly influenced much of how I build in The Sims, and he's a really big Sims 4 YouTuber, so he's never going to see this video, but here I am, fangirling. Anyways, I do want to give him all the credit due because he mentioned about a month or two ago that he was starting a D&D campaign, and I know he's going to be putting up, or has put up at this point, some build videos about his D&D world, but it ended up lining up so perfectly with these campaigns that I've also gotten to participate in, and I thought it was a lovely idea, so I just want to give him credit. That's likely who planted the seed in my head. Anyways, with all that being said, I will likely continue building as I get inspired by D&D. I'm in 2 ongoing campaigns, so who knows what adventures we'll get into. But this particular inn is found near the water, near a water crossing in the campaign that I'm playing. And we actually, in the campaign, are making our way toward a cove. So it fits really well in Brindleton Bay in this lot. Now, for the building itself, I found this image to model the tavern or inn after, and I'm not sure what the context is for the source image. It's copyright Wizards of the Coast and Penny Arcade, but I was just really drawn to this circular pillar structure in the front. A lot of the taverns I found while researching were giving very much square, okay? And our tavern here, she's giving big back square as well, you know, but we love her, and I guess that's why I was drawn to this inspo image, because of the, you know, big architectural interest at the front. But rather than building it as a watchtower, which it probably is intended to be a watchtower of some kind in the inspiration image, I imagine in Faelenor that Lankis has converted this pillar to sort of hollowed it out, and it serves very well as a spot for performers. You'll see as I get a little bit further into the build, I build kind of a stage. And in our D&D campaign, we actually encounter a satyr playing the fiddle. Or was it a lute? A lute, I think, here in this inn. So I definitely wanted to include a formal stage or something where Lankis would bring in live musicians and entertainment each night. And, you know, they didn't have touch tunes back in the medieval times like we do now. I mean, what a time to be alive. You can force the speakers in your local bar to play Shabuzi 1 minute and Seals Kissed by a Rose the next. I mean, honestly. Now, because this is Faelenor, a made-up world where I get to blend all sorts of styles and influences, I'm not going to be committing to one style or even really one time period for the save file. We'll have taverns in one world, and potentially, you know, cyberpunk Tokyo-inspired builds in the next. We'll have technology throughout, possibly even in some of these more medieval-inspired builds. I think in Lankis's quarters here in this build, I do put in the laptop, even although it's the typewriter-esque laptop that I think came with Horse Ranch or maybe Cottage Living. But the goal with the project is not necessarily to build a save file for a gameplay challenge. I'm not building this for a medieval gameplay challenge. I'm honestly building this just to tweak the worlds to feel more authentic to my aesthetic. And like I said, I'll be drawing inspiration from Lord of the Rings and D&D, also Ghibli films, many of which are obviously set in Tokyo or in the rural areas of Japan. But Harry Potter, even Palia, you know, in Palia, in the world of Palia, they have really advanced technology as well. And you know, in all honesty, even in the real world, we have these ultra modern cities in one area and more traditional or simple living in other areas. They all exist simultaneously. So I kind of see Faelenor like that. This is a expansive build, that's for sure. And I jump around quite a bit, so I apologize in advance. I did try to edit this to be a little bit more cohesive. One day I will have a workflow, but for now I honestly just let Jesus and my creative juices take the wheel, which may very well be how most of us build. I can only speak for myself, but you know, you look at these amazing builds by such talented people on YouTube, but it kind of can feel discouraging sometimes to compare yourself. So, you know, consider this a favor to you. You get to see my absolute shit workflow, and we can all feel better about ourselves. So you're welcome. Now, this build took start to finish upward of 15 hours, but I came back to it over the course of like a week. Now, I live that mom life, okay? I don't get 15 hours to sit down and do anything straight through. I don't get to take a crap straight through, okay, without interruption. So I definitely did not build this all in one go. I'm a very slow builder in general, especially because I'm coming back to The Sims after really taking a break for like five years. So the week that I built this includes, you know, the first version of the build that I talked about, and Also a game crash where I lost like an hour, more than an hour of progress. A lot of progress. Save often, people. That's all I can say. Now, with that being said, I am really happy with how this came out in the end. The video will finish off with some more screenshots after the speed build, and there's quite a bit left of the speed build here. So I'm just going to stop rambling and allow you to enjoy the rest of it in peace. And as always, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think of the build. If you're interested in watching more of my content, I'm available on Twitch every weekday morning, and I'd love to see you there with a cup of coffee sometime. But until then, I hope that you have a wonderful day wherever you are, and enjoy the rest of this build. And as we say in my Twitch community, I love 'em so much. Okay, enjoy. Bye-bye.